I think it's safe to say that Volkswagen has stalled a bit on the road to electrification when it comes to its passenger cars. But could this car, the VW ID.7, be the one that finally gets it going for them? I'm in glorious LA for the World Car of the Year annual test drive events. Yes, I know how lucky I am. But I thought I'd grab an hour to find out if this car is going to be good enough. But before we get going, please do subscribe to the channel and switch your notifications on, because if you are into electric cars, this is the place to be. So, the ID.7, well, it's currently up for the title of World Electric Car as well as the overall Car of the Year award. And if it's going to win, it needs to be good, very good, because the competition is really stiff. So what have we got? Well, let's start by saying what we've not got. It's not, as you'll have noticed, another electric SUV, which is probably a good thing. There is quite a lot of them out there. So VW are calling it a saloon. It's got 4 doors and a boot, although as you can see, it's a bit more like a hatchback actually. It's got a very big battery, a big range, and the next generation of infotainment systems in there, which is a very good thing, because it's probably at the weakest spot of any VW ID car. A Tourer is set to join the range, and that's the version that probably excites me the most. But for now, this is what you get. I'm going to leave you, though, to make your mind up on how it looks. Maybe this is just your thing. I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. So let's kick off with a quick look inside. And I'm not joking when I say it's got to be quick. I literally have an hour with this car, so we're going to be very rapid. So at first glance, it feels really well put together in here. It's nicely built. It's not as minimalist as we've seen in the ID.3, is it, for example? And it feels a little bit more special. It feels more luxurious. You've got things like this nice contrasting stitched trim, lots of soft plastics. You know, the metal just feels really nice that's dotted around. It's also more conventional than earlier ID models. It's got this new little digital display behind the wheel, which is really useful, along with the same gear selector stalk that first appeared on the ID.Buzz, instead of that kind of toggle that you get on the ID.3, and I do like that. Another thing I really like is this lovely big opaque sunroof. There's a little slider here. Flick back and it opens. Flick forward and it closes. Other than that, it's roomy. I have sat in the back. There's loads of room and space in the back. Legroom and headroom is good. Right, that's the end of the whistle stop tour in here. Let's go and see how it drives. Before I get into talking about how it drives, I'm going to have to report that the infotainment system is way better. It's running the 4th generation of VW software, and the menu changes seem pretty slick. The graphics are really nice and it's very easy to navigate, which is a relief. So far so good. The screen is a larger 15-inch display, and as I said, it's all really nice and clear. Volkswagen have definitely listened to the criticism of their earlier systems, of which there was plenty, and they've created a much better setup at this time around. So one thing you get that I can't show you is a augmented reality display, which is fitted as standard, and it overlays instructions onto the windscreen. It's just a shame that VW's inbuilt mapping isn't up to par with Google or Apple Maps, because I suspect it won't be used that often. Another welcome change is the backlighting to the volume and temperature sliders, which are just down here below the screen. You previously had to guess where the controls were at night because you just couldn't see them, but now they glow gently, which is very useful. So let me give you some figures. So the ID.7 with the largest 87 kilowatt hour battery should manage 430 miles of official range. So that's easily 300 miles plus a real world driving ability in the UK, where it rains all the time and is really cold. You will get a lot more out of it in a place like California, of course. Maybe I should just stay here, see if I can actually get it to 435 miles. Although the early signs are not boding well, actually. So when I collected this car this morning, it had 99% battery capacity and it was showing a range of 271 miles, which is a tad disappointing given the climate here and the conditions. Look, you know, these are test cars. They're being driven very hard with lots of different drivers over the course of the week that we're here. So, I mean, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt until we find longer in it. But a colleague of mine has also driven this car in Germany. That's our Electrifying Mike. And he also reported back that real world efficiency wasn't looking too good. But as I said, we'll have the car for longer in the UK and we'll give a full report back on that then. So let's talk hardware. And there's a new rear-mounted motor on the ID.7 which generates 210 kilowatts and delivers really sharp acceleration as you'd expect. There's loads of torque available for overtaking. Also good is the smooth, quiet ride that this has. It really holds the road well and feels very composed going into corners. You know, despite the fact that this is a large, heavy car, it's really easy to place on the road. It doesn't feel too heavy. I think the steering is nice and direct. I actually really like the setup of the ID.7. I think this is by far the nicest driving VW ID car. It feels just like a, you know, conventional petrol or diesel car in its handling, but with all the benefits of it being electric. So the smoothness, that nice delivery of the power, it's very quiet in here. I'm really impressed with it. I mean, I've not been in it too long, but I've had it on a mixture of driving conditions, and yeah, I think it's a really nicely rounded package. So whilst the foot brake is nice and smooth and very strong, sadly the regenerative braking is not. It's pretty wishy-washy and doesn't give me the true one-pedal driving that I really love. I do think it's a shame, and in a world where we're starting to see technology like adaptive regenerative braking popping up on cars in this class, I can't help but think VW has missed a trick with what I believe is one of the key driving characteristics of electric cars, and I do think it does let the overall driving experience down just a little. And of course, the better the regen, the more energy you're recouping, which is always a good thing. So, I've got loads more to tell you. The seats are comfortable. They have a massage function along with both heating and cooling. It can charge at speeds of up to 200 kilowatts. Still has these annoying window selectors in the doors though, where you've got to kind of switch them forward to open the back ones and move them back to open the front, which is a bit annoying. But I can't tell you any more because I am literally back at World Car HQ and I've got to take this car back into the parking lot.
You know, it's fair to say that I like the ID.7. I do. I think VW has done a good job with it. But my issue with it is, I just don't know who's going to buy it. Would you choose an ID.7 over a Tesla Model Y or a BYD Seal or even a BMW i4? I just don't think you would. And my strong suspicion is that as good as the ID.7 is, we're not going to see too many of them on UK roads until that Tourer appears. And then I think it's going to get very interesting. Thanks for watching, and if you aren't already, please do subscribe to the channel and switch your notifications on, because if you are into electric cars, then this is the place to be.